Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another very special episode of the Miss English Podcast. I am your host, Sochata, and today I am feeling so incredibly inspired because we are talking about a topic that I know resonates with every single one of you listening right now: how to change your life.
It is such a pleasure to be here with you, Sochata. This is a topic that is close to my heart because change isn't just a physical act. It is a profound internal journey. Thank you for having me.
You know, Mr. Sarun, when we talk about changing our lives, it often feels like this massive, mountain-like task. People feel overwhelmed before they even start. They think they need to move to a new country or quit their jobs overnight. It feels heavy, doesn't it?
It does feel heavy, Sochata. We tend to view change as a giant leap across a canyon. But in reality, true lasting change is more like a series of small, intentional steps. It starts with the way we wake up and the way we speak to ourselves in the mirror.
I love that. Small steps. But even those small steps can be scary. Why is it that we stay in situations that don't make us happy just because they feel familiar? Why is the known so much more comfortable than the unknown?
Because our brains are wired for survival, not necessarily for happiness. Familiarity feels safe, even if it is miserable safety. To change, you have to embrace the discomfort of being a beginner again. You have to be willing to be bad at something before you can be great at it.
I feel that so much, especially with our listeners who are learning English. They want to speak perfectly right away, and when they can't, they feel like they haven't changed or improved at all. But every mistake is actually a sign of growth, right?
Exactly. If you are making mistakes, it means you are in the arena. You are doing the work. Change is a process of shedding the old skin. When you learn a new language like English, you aren't just learning words. You are adopting a new way of thinking, a new identity. That is life-changing.
A new identity. That is a powerful thought. I remember when I first started focusing on my personal growth, I had to let go of the version of me that was too shy to speak up. It felt like I was losing a part of myself, but I was actually making room for someone better.
Gently. That is the beautiful loss. You lose the limitations to find the possibilities. I always tell people, if you want to change your life, look at your environment. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are they the people who pull you up or the people who keep you anchored to your old self?
That is so true. I've had to make some tough decisions about who I spend my time with. Reflectively, it's not about being mean. It's about protecting your energy. If you want to fly, you can't hang out with people who are afraid of heights.
Well said. And we must also talk about the power of why. If your why isn't strong enough, the first time you hit a bump in the road, and you will hit bumps, you will turn back. You need a reason that makes your heart beat faster.
Yes! My why for this podcast is to empower people through communication. When I feel tired, I think of our listeners and it gives me a second wind. For those of you listening, what is your why? Is it for your family? For your career? For your own self-respect?
Whatever it is, write it down. Keep it visible. Change requires constant reminders. It's easy to be motivated for a day, but to be disciplined for a year, that takes a vision that is bigger than your excuses.
Softly and sincerely, let's talk about the days when it feels impossible. The days where you wake up and you just want to go back to the old ways. What do we do then?
Calmly and reassuringly. On those days, Sochata, you don't look at the mountain. You look at your feet. Just do the next right thing. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. Just don't stop. Compassion for yourself is the fuel that keeps the engine of change running.
I think many of us are so hard on ourselves. We think we have to be perfect. But maybe change is just about being 1% better than yesterday. Just 1%.
Smiling. Precisely. Over a year, that 1% compounds into something unrecognizable. You wake up one day and realize you are the person you once dreamed of becoming. It's a magical feeling, but it is earned through sweat and persistence.
With a bright, hopeful tone, I want everyone listening to take a deep breath right now.
Feel that? That is life. That is opportunity. You are never too old and it is never too late to start a new chapter. Mr. Cyrone, what is one final piece of advice for someone who wants to change their life starting today?
With a serious but kind expression, my advice is this: stop waiting for the right time. The stars will never perfectly align. The right time is a myth. Start before you are ready. Start while you are still afraid. That is where the transformation happens.
Inspired. Start while you are still afraid. I am going to carry that with me. Thank you so much, Mr. Cyrone, for sharing your heart and your wisdom with us today. This has been such a powerful conversation. Gratefully. Thank you, Sochata. And to all the listeners, remember, the power to change is already inside you. You just have to give yourself permission to use it. Warmly and with a final surge of energy, thank you all for tuning in to the Miss English podcast. If this episode touched you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's grow together. Until next time, keep dreaming and keep speaking. Goodbye.